What up, what up, what up? We back on the channel today with another banger. What's up, guys? It's been a minute, but I'm so glad to be back. And today, as you can guess from the title, we'll be delving into my picks for this year's NFL awards. This will include essentially like all the awards. So like MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, the offensive and the defensive rookies, um, the Coach of the Year, along with Comeback Player of the Year. And then finally, my pick for the Super Bowl and my pick for Super Bowl MVP. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, let's get things started with my pick for the MVP. So, let's rattle off some like honorable mentions. Some of my honorable mentions are Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Jared Goff. So, my issue with the MVP is that like it's such a quarterback driven award, you know? And I feel like any other year where if Joe Burrow like had like a good team, he would be the MVP for sure. Because he was, in my opinion, the best quarterback this regular season. He had amazing stats. He put the team on his back along with Jamar Chase. But I think the defense really sold his chances of getting MVP. So as a result, because of record, he's not going to get the MVP. So that's why he's an honorable mention. But realistically, he, in my opinion, was the best quarterback. Jared Goff was also amazing, just on the same level as these other guys. Jamar Chase was easily the best wide receiver. And honestly speaking, if like MVP was a not QB award, he'd be like easily in the top three. But again, it's a QB award, so unfortunately he's not there. Now, on to my top three. Third place, I got Saquon Barkley. In my opinion, Saquon is the MVP for this year. If it wasn't a QB award, he would honestly be the MVP. It's just so unfortunate that the NFL has become so like it's become so specific and like so essentially celebratory of quarterbacks more than other positions. And like I get it, quarterback is the hardest position in the league. It's the most important position, but I feel like it's not fair to like these other guys such as like Saquon, Jamar Chase, when they're not even like gonna be able to have a chance at the MVP just because they're not a QB. You know, Saquon was amazing this year. He led the league in rushing yards, got over 2K. And he honestly would have broken the record if the Eagles let him play Week 17, or I guess Week 18. But alas, they didn't, and he couldn't break the record. If he broke the record, it would have been really interesting to see how the league would have reacted. I feel like he would have gotten a lot more votes and maybe had a chance at winning the award. But honestly speaking, it's just stupid how unbelievably biased the NFL is towards QBs. And it's because of that he's not going to win the MVP. And again, these predictions are like what I think will happen, not what like I would do. Because if I had like an MVP ballot, Saquon would be like first on that list and he would win the MVP. But again, these are my predictions for what will happen, not like my own like takes. So yeah, that's why Saquon's third. Otherwise, man, it's just so unfortunate. But now on to like the two horse race of Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. The betting awards, or not betting awards, sorry, the betting odds are suggesting that Josh Allen is going to win the MVP. He's a betting favorite. But Lamar got first team All Pro. And so as a result, it's kind of like conflicting. And usually both of those are like on the same person. So as a result, they would like easily predict like who's going to win the MVP, right? Like last year, Lamar was like, I think both first team All Pro and like the betting, like the odds on favorite to like win the MVP. Speaking of last year, I think the reason that Lamar won it last year is going to be the same reason that Josh Allen wins it this year. Lamar was not the best QB at all last year. He didn't have the best stats. He didn't have like the best like eye test. He was not the best QB. Josh Allen was the best QB last year. But then again, Josh Allen also had way too many turnovers. So that's why Josh lost the MVP. Even then, Dak Prescott, honestly speaking, deserved MVP over Lamar. It was one of the most stupid MVPs ever. Like in all honesty, like it doesn't even make any sense. It's just like the best person on the best team award. That's what it was that last year. This year, the Bills aren't the best team, but they still were a better team than the Ravens, and I think because of that, Josh is going to win the MVP. This year, I'd easily say Lamar has had much better stats than Josh Allen. It's just that since they gave it to Lamar last year on a bogus reason, I think they're going to give Josh Allen the MVP this year. Because in all honesty, like Josh Allen, he had a great year. Like he's my favorite QB in the league, right? But Lamar had a better year, so like he should theoretically win MVP. But because of the fact that he already won an MVP last year and it was kind of fluky in all honesty, Josh Allen's going to get it this year. So my pick for MVP is going to be Josh Allen. Now, on to Offensive Player of the Year. This one's, it's like there's so many great players, so many great talents in the NFL. So, like, Derrick Henry is going to be an honorable mention. He's not in the top three, even though he had, like, an outstanding season for running back, especially over the age of 30. Man, Derrick Henry's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer when he retires. Like, that man's amazing. Justin Jefferson had a really great year as well. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, they're all really good as QBs, you know. But again, Offensive Player of the Year is mostly a not QB award. So essentially the best not QB in the league that year. But I will put Lamar at third because, again, he had a crazy year, like insane stats. Fantastic year for him. But again, he's not going to win it because he's a QB. Second, I got Jamar Chase. And any other year, I think Jamar Chase wins Offensive Player of the Year easily because he's a Triple Crown winner, led the league in receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, receptions, which is incredible this year. But again, Saquon breaking 2K, I think, gives him the Offensive Player of the Year. So my pick for OPOY is going to be Saquon Barkley. Next, on to Offensive Rookie of the Year. Some honorable mentions. Brian Thomas was fantastic in his rookie year for the Jaguars. He was a home run pick later in that first round of the draft for them. Bucky Irving was a fantastic pick for the Buccaneers as he had a brilliant season as well. I'm really excited to see how he does in the future, but he already started off really well. It's just there's some better options, I think, near the top. And also, again, the NFL is a QB-driven league. QBs will dominate most of the awards, you know. So, again, third place, we got Brock Bowers. In all honesty, in my opinion, Brock Bowers should win Offensive Rookie of the Year, or at least at bare minimum be like a co-Offensive Rookie of the Year with like J.D. Daniels. But he's a tight end. He's not going to get the love, so he's going to be third. Second, I got Bo Nix. He was fantastic his rookie year. He started off really slow and then really progressed and worked his way up. And by the end of the year, he was really damn good, honestly. It's just J.D. Daniels was the best rookie quarterback easily in this draft, at least based off his first season. And he was just brilliant, man. He really turned the Commanders around, along with Dan Quinn obviously coming in and being a really competent head coach. So, yeah, shout out J.D. Daniels. I think he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he's set up for really good things in the future, especially after leading them to the NFC Championship game. Justin is like rookie year. He's got a bright future. But yeah, that's my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now to the defensive side of the ball, Defensive Player of the Year. There were some really good defenders this year. Trey Hendrickson was really good. Nick Bonito was amazing. Zach Bond had a crazy year for the Eagles after signing from the Saints. But those are all like really great honorable mentions, but I just don't think they're going to crack the top three. In third place, I got Myles Garrett. He won the award last year. He didn't really deserve it last year, in all honesty, but he was a lot better this year, and he definitely deserves to be in the running this year. And another interesting note is that he requested to be traded, so I guess we'll find out if the Browns grant his request and if they trade him away. I'm really interested to see his trade package. I personally believe he's worth at least like 2 first-round picks, but again, I don't know if the market's there for that right now, so maybe it's like only just like 1 first-round pick. But we'll see. I'm really curious to see what happens with his situation. But he had a fantastic year. I have him as third in my Defensive Player of the Year race. Second, I got T.J. Watt. I might be a homer, but I think T.J. was fantastic this year as well. The sack numbers were down, but he's also getting double-teamed at a higher rate. He didn't have as much help on the outside with Alex Highsmith being hurt for most of the season. And along with that, he was playing hurt for I think the second half of the year. But he still had a really great season. I think he was first in forced fumbles. He was amazing. Essentially, he's a game wrecker, right? T.J. Watt has been like a top 3 to 5 defensive player in the league for the past 5 seasons, you know. But I just think this year the lack of the sack numbers is gonna derail his chances of winning the award. I personally want him to. It's just I think the fact that he didn't have as many sacks will prevent voters from voting for him, which is stupid because Myles Garrett won the award last year with a lot fewer sacks. So I don't know. I want him to win, but I just don't think he will. Now for my pick for Defensive Player of the Year, I got PS2, Pat Surtain. Surtain was absolutely locked down this year. Best corner in the league. I think this season absolutely cemented him as that. Previous years you could argue Sauce Gardner, maybe Jalen Ramsey 3 or 4 years ago. But now it's definitely not Sauce, sorry. It's definitely Patrick Surtain. He's gonna lock your number 1 receiver down. He's gonna get the picks. He's gonna get the He even got like a pick six, I think, this season. So Pat Surtain's just a monster, you know. Home run draft pick that they got for him, you know. So yeah, he's my pick for defensive player of the year. Now on to defensive rookie. There was a lot of really good rookies, honestly, that were like on good teams and helped lead teams to like the playoffs. Maybe not lead, but like they were contributing factors. Cooper DeJean was one of them. Absolutely brilliant, amazing on the Eagles. Chop Robinson was also really good on the Dolphins. Peyton Wilson, as a Steelers fan, was pretty good for us down that stretch. But for my top three, I got Braden Fisk at three. The Rams absolutely had a monster draft this past year with Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, who I'll get to. Braden Fisk has been a game wrecker. That defensive line, man, it's going to be amazing for years to come, along with like Byron Young and like, yeah. So it's just the Rams, their defense, and specifically their defensive line, is just set for the future, you know. Now onto my second, or I guess my second place pick for defensive rookie of the year. I got Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell, like, he was my preseason pick for defensive rookie of the year, and he lived up to expectations, honestly. He was just amazing this year. Really damn good against the receivers he went against. And honestly speaking, like, I think most other seasons he would win defensive rookie of the year. It's just that Jared Verse, who's my pick for rookie or defensive rookie of the year, he was just a game wrecker down the stretch, man. So Quinyon Mitchell has a bright future. He's going to be great. But Jared Verse was just a monster, like, down that stretch for the Rams. You even saw in the playoffs, man. He was dominating that Eagles, like, offensive line, which is crazy because the Eagles' O-line is amazing. So, but yeah, Jared Verse, he's got a bright future. Yeah, shout out the Rams, man. And also the Eagles for, like, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. So, yeah, off to comeback player of the year. There were some really good players that came back from either injuries or just, like, bad situations. Honorable mentions, I got DeMar Hamlin. Again, the fact that he's still even playing right now, despite the fact that he essentially died on the field, is just a true testament to like his character, his like determination. Just shout out to him, you know, for even like coming back to play football in the first place, you know. J.K. Dobbins was also really good this year, after essentially like being hurt for the past couple of seasons. Unfortunately, he still got hurt again this year. Just feel really bad because when healthy, he's like a really good running back. It's just he's unfortunately never completely healthy, but he still was fairly healthy for most of the year. He's still like really good in his comeback season. Third place, I got Christian Gonzalez. Seago was just amazing again. Lockdown. He was one of the few bright spots on the Patriots defense this year. He was just amazing, you know. He's got a bright future ahead of him. It's just, again, he's not a QB, so he's not going to win this award. Second place, you got Sam Darnold. What a comeback season from Sam Darnold, man. Like, I'm telling you, Kevin O'Connell is the QB whisperer because before KOC, Sam Darnold was not doing any of this. But as soon as he gets to Minnesota, gets some weapons, he starts cooking, you know? So I'm excited to see what the Vikings do in the offseason, whether they decide to bring him back or just let him go. I think they're going to let him go because they drafted J.J. McCarthy really high. They're going to give him the reins and see how he does. But Darnold had a really good season, and he's going to make a lot of money, I think. Maybe not as much money because he kind of faltered like in his last two games of the season, but he was still really good for the most part, man. So Darnold's my second option, or I guess my second place pick for comeback player of the year. And my projected winner for comeback player of the year is going to be Joe Burrow. This was obvious, man. Joe Burrow had an MVP-like season. If they have a better defense, he wins MVP. But the defense kind of sold. But yeah, he still had an amazing season. And it was really cool to see him just come back from his injury and just ball out. Like we know the Joe Burrow we know and love, you know? You know, as a Steelers fan, like, I hate the Bengals, but you got to respect Joe Burrow, man. He's just a dog. So that's my pick for comeback player of the year. Finally, on to coach of the year. This one was kind of tough because obviously there's a lot of really good coaches in the league. Dan Campbell was really good this season. Andy Reid was really good, but like I feel like both of those teams were supposed to be good, like the Lions and the Chiefs. They were both supposed to be like amazing. So I feel like they're not going to be able to get the love that they deserve, in all honesty. Because they're great coaches. It's just that they were already supposed to be good, you know? So in third place, I got Sean Payton for the Broncos. The Broncos were projected to be like a bad team, definitely not a playoff team. It's supposed to be a rebuilding season. It's supposed to be like a feel-it-out season with like a rookie QB in Bo Nix. But Sean Payton like coached his team to the playoffs, and they were pretty good, honestly, down that stretch of the season. Being able to get the best out of Bo Nix was a great. So because of that, I think Sean Payton's third. Second place, I got Dan Quinn. The Commanders were not at all expected to be in the NFC Championship game. If you told me that Jaden Daniels and the Commanders would be playing in the NFC Championship game with a chance to play in the Super Bowl at the start of the season, I would have said you're crazy, bro. Like, there's no way anyone could have predicted this. So it's just really a testament to how good of a coach Dan Quinn is. The Falcons are still reeling from the fact that they decided to fire this man a couple years ago, and ever since then they haven't had a truly elite head coach since. Now I won't say Raheem Morris is a bad head coach, but he had his struggles this year. So I guess we'll find out how he does in the future. But the Falcons are definitely shooting them, definitely they basically shot themselves in the foot, for letting go of Dan Quinn that early on. But yeah, he was great as a coach for the Commanders. Kind of like Dan Campbell, he loves going for on fourth down. Gutsy decisions. But him and Jane Daniels should be a really good pairing for years to come. Now, for my pick for Coach of the Year, I got Kevin O'Connell. I think what he did with Sam Darnold was just truly amazing. He just turned his career around. And KOC is 100% a quarterback whisperer. He's one of the best offensive minds in the game. He did this with Kirk Cousins. He gave Kirk Cousins his best seasons. He made Josh Dobbs look like a competent and a really good QB. I mean, no offense to Josh Dobbs, but he made him look like a really good QB for a couple of games. He made, Nick Mullins a consistent 300 to 400 yard per game passer for a couple of games last season. And now he gives Sam Darnold his best season. So KOC is an amazing offensive mind. This team is set for years to come. I believe in J.J. McCarthy. And this team, I think it has enough and has what it takes to essentially be a contender, essentially year in and year out. It's just a moment of getting over that hump. It's kind of like how the Bills were at first. They were struggling in the postseason a little bit in Josh Allen's first couple seasons, but they finally got over the hump. And ever since then, they've just been one of the best teams in the league and been contenders. Obviously, it hasn't resulted in a Super Bowl, but the Vikings are hoping they can get over that hump. But yeah, that's why KOC is my pick for Coach of the Year. Finally, let's get on to the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, again, the rematch. I think we all wanted Bills, Commanders. That would have been a really fun matchup to see the Bills have a chance at winning their first Super Bowl ever, and the Commanders to win their first one in a while with the rookie QB, So that would have been fun, but unfortunately we didn't get that. We didn't even get Bills, Eagles like I predicted. I was very close, but man, 1 yard short, or I guess, honestly speaking, he got that first down, but whatever. But yeah, Chiefs, Eagles, the rematch. Chiefs won last time on a field goal. I think this time it's going to be a really good game again. These two teams have been, in my opinion, I don't know, along with the Lions as well, but these teams have been some of the best teams in the league the entire year. The Eagles probably have a better roster than the Chiefs, but again, the Chiefs have the back-to-back Super Bowls. So now it's a chance of either history. Either Jalen Hurts and the Eagles win a Super Bowl again, or the Chiefs end up winning 3 straight and get a three-peat, which is, again, never been done before. So my heart says the Eagles because I just don't want to see the Chiefs win another one and get a three-peat. But I feel like the Chiefs are just going to pull off some devil magic, just try and find a way to win. It's the Chiefs, they're just going to win. Psych! I am picking the Chiefs. I'm going to pick the Eagles. No team has ever had a three-peat in NFL Super Bowl history, and it's not going to happen this year. Saquon Barkley is going to win Super Bowl MVP. He's going to run all over the Chiefs' defense. The Chiefs' defense has not been good recently, or at least rush defense. They let James Cook them last week. It was still coaching malpractice to me that the fact that James Cook didn't get more carries last week in that second half, especially that fourth quarter when he was just gashing the Chiefs. But the Eagles have a better O-line. Saquon Barkley is better than James Cook, respectfully. And Jalen Hurts is going to do pretty good as well. So that QB and that running back, dual threat, rushing ability is going to definitely, hurt the Chiefs. And as a result, I think Saquon's going to run havoc on the Chiefs. Still going to be a good game, going to be a close game, because you can never count out, Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. But I think it ends here. I think the Eagles win again. And Saquon deservedly wins the Super Bowl, and also his Super Bowl MVP. That's all we have for today, folks. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is Saquon winning Super Bowl MVP? Who are your MVP picks? And also, other your award picks. But whatever it is, let me know down below. That's all. Signing off for now.